JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. SKP sentenced to 18 years in prison in his absence. A manhunt has been launched for a convict facing sentencing who escaped police custody at the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston on Thursday. The police are seeking to recapture Anthony Williams, otherwise called Pops, of an Almontown, Kingston address. Williams, 22, was recently found guilty of illegal possession of firearm and assault of common law. It is reported that Williams escaped custody by jumping from the building onto Tower Street. Williams was already serving time in prison for a separate gun possession charge. In April 2022, he was sentenced to over 12 years for illegal possession of firearm and over 14 years for wounding with intent. He has been sentenced to 18 years in prison in his absence. Sentencing was handed down in the gun court by Justice Carlos Wilshire. His attorney, Kimberly Whitaker, is appealing to Williams to turn himself in. Mentally ill man shot after allegedly attacking police in Stony Hill Square. A mentally ill man was shot by the police in Stony Hill Square, St. Andrew this morning. He was shot after reportedly attacking one of the cops, who sustained injuries. It is reported that a police team went to the area to apprehend the man in connection with a robbery. The man reportedly attacked one of the cops with a sharp object. Both have been assisted to hospital. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is investigating. Woman found dead in house in Portmore. The St. Catherine South police suspect foul play in the death of a woman who was found at a house in Portmore early this morning. Dead is 22-year-old Beyonce Brown of Dawn Avenue in Duane Park, St. Andrew. Reports are that at about 1:30 a.m., the police responded to a report of the woman being found unresponsive at a dwelling in Britain Phase 4. The scene was examined and the body removed to hospital. An investigation is being undertaken by the Portmore Criminal Investigation Branch. Men freed of gun charges in dispute over electricity in Kingston. 2 men accused of using a gun to assault a woman in a dispute over electricity were freed of gun charges in the gun court on Tuesday. Tariq Mercurius and Andre Plummer were found not guilty on charges of using a firearm to commit a scheduled offense and assault occasioning grievous bodily harm. Justice Vaughan Smith handed down the verdict after accepting submissions from the defense that the prosecution did not outline a case for the men to answer to. The incident occurred on March 21, 2023 in Admiral Pen, Kingston, where the prosecution alleged that an argument over electricity distribution escalated into a fight. Plum allegedly pulled a weapon and held it to the complainant's side while Mercurius assaulted her. However, defense attorneys Marcus Moore, representing Mercurius, and Shannon Clark, representing Plummer, argued that the prosecution's case was manifestly weak and its witnesses unreliable. One witness recalled seeing Plummer pushing the gun in the complainant's back before she slapped the gun aside, while another witness recounted witnessing Plummer running towards the complainant with the gun in his hand before it fell. The lawyers also argued that there were different descriptions of the weapon. The defense also raised concerns about poor lighting conditions on the day of the incident, challenging the witness's ability to accurately identify the weapon. EOJ says November by-elections to cost $84 million. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, says it will cost $84 million to hold the 4 by-elections announced by the government on Wednesday. Director of Elections Glassball Brown says it is estimated to cost $60 million to stage elections in the Trelawney South and the St. Andrew Northwestern constituencies and $12 million per election in the Anion Town and Morant Bay divisions. The budget is to be submitted to the Ministry of Finance. Brown says the EOJ will be making preparations in anticipation of the calling of additional by-elections.
We had anticipated the election they called, given what we have heard in the public domain from when the Centre and Northeast election was called. And therefore we had started some preparation. Where we are now, we are in preparation mode for nomination day next week, Wednesday, in the 4 locations. So we are there. We are just fine-tuning the budget. We to submit to Ministry of Finance, which we'll be doing that today. We have started the process of contacting our workers, and then we are setting up schedules to begin training as early as Monday. We mobilize from our end in terms of, because we're just focusing on just one election, there are a number of things that we put in place. We want to extend it a little bit in terms of how we report our election, the speed at which we do, and we were fairly quick in that by-election, and so based on that tweaking. We hopefully do it a little bit different for the full election when it comes. So there are some things that we're trying when we're using the by-elections as a gauge in terms of some changes that we want to make in terms of our processing.
Are you satisfied then, based on your checks, that in the light of the announcement for the municipal elections, that all is in compliance with the ROPO?
The indication that it is so, yes.
That includes the extension that was given for the postponement?
I'm not comment on the extension, but I'm commenting in terms of the announcement. So the announcement that was given in terms of the extension that was given in Parliament, I'm not commenting on that aspect of it. Legal persons would have to answer that question. I'm there to execute and manage an election. I suffice to say that we react based on announcement from the powers that be in terms of the holding of election.
Indicom witness struggles to make out info copied from JDF ammunition book. A former investigator in the Keith Clark murder case, who had certified photocopied pages from the Jamaica Defence Forces ammunition book, on Wednesday struggled to figure out some of the data the document had captured. Tanish Wisdom, Director of Evaluation of Standards at the Independent Commission of Investigations, was quizzed by Prosecutor Latoya Bernard about the contents of the document after Justice Dale Palmer ruled that the document be admitted into evidence following objections from the defense. I can't read this part, and I'm not sure what I'm looking at. It just looks like markings, the witness repeatedly said when asked to provide the information on the document. At one point, the prosecutor asked for permission for Wisdom to use a magnifying glass, but even that did not help her vision. Wisdom insisted that the document was still blurry. However, under cross-examination from Peter Champagne King's counsel, when asked why she had certified the document even though she could not make out some of the information, she said, 13 years ago, my sight was better. The former senior investigator was called to the witness stand to give evidence about the photocopied entries along with the cover letter, which she said she had received from Captain Chester Crooks. Wisdom had also testified that she had been given the task to certify the documents and as a result, went to the JDF Seagull office on June 30, 2011 and cross-checked the information provided against the ammunition book. The witness further stated that after checking and affirming that the information was the same, she affixed her signature and a date to the document. In answering Bernard's questions as to what was captured in the different columns of the document, Wisdom, after being shown the document, reported that there were headings titled Name, Rank, Date in, Issued by, and Returned by. She testified that the names Tingling G, Buckley O, and Henry A were seen in the columns under name. She was also able to see the information that had been entered under the headings Date in, Rank, and Regiment Number, but could not make out much else. Wisdom admitted that in many instances she could see markings but didn't know what they were. Bernard, during her efforts to ascertain the information, resorted to asking Wisdom what the markings appeared to be, but the defense objected, saying she was inviting speculation from the witness, which was accepted by the judge. In the meantime, during cross-examination from John Mark Reed, Wisdom, when asked if she had interviewed Albert Spencer, said she could not remember. Spencer, as a former JDF officer, was in charge of the ammunition and weapon records and was subpoenaed to appear as a witness for the Crown but cannot be found. However, Wisdom, after she was shown a document, admitted that she was present at the interview but could not recall that copies of the pages from the ammunition book had been shown to Spencer. She further disagreed with a suggestion from Reed that Spencer had been shown copies of the document in the interview that took place on April 27, 2011. She also could not recall whether numbers were written beside the names of the soldiers in the photocopied document. The witness was also questioned about the source of the photocopied document and its current whereabouts, and indicated that she did not know where it came from and where it is today. Pressed by Reed on whether the document was the same one that she had certified, Wisdom insisted that she was given the one that she took to camp to be certified by Crooks. Additionally, Wisdom, under cross-examination from Champagne, disclosed that there were 5 soldiers' names in the document. She also agreed that she had given a statement in relation to the document last week Tuesday and that she had not mentioned going to the JDF to certify the photocopied document in any of her statements. Lance Corporals Greg Tingling and Odell Buckley and the Private Arnold Henry are on trial for Clark's murder. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.